Hey, welcome. I almost said good morning. I mean, it is good morning for me. Hello and welcome to an episode of Chopping It Up. It's when we bring on our Mosto friends, connections, people I've annoyed enough to come on camera and talk to me about football. Uh, please subscribe, uh, rate, review, 5 stars, rate us 5 stars, 10 out of 10, whatever your rating system is. If it's not going to be perfect, you can just leave it. All right. Patreon. Amazing people at our Patreon. Subscribe monthly, $6 a month. You'll get this episode on full. If you see on YouTube, if you're listening on your podcast app, you look, and there's only 11 minutes. That is because you need to be subscribed to our Patreon in order to get the full episode, which you can then type in the code to your podcasting app and get our Patreon episodes delivered directly to you. Either way, subscribe, $6 a month, fantastic episodes, match previews, and the full episode of this conversation we're going to have today. First time of 2026. I have missed them. I know you all have missed them, listeners and viewers. It is our great friend, Northern sports reporter from the Daily Mail. Give it up for Jack Gaughan. I left this one nice and short and sweet. I meant to not throw too many compliments and nice words your way because I know how much you hate it.
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah, so that was good. That was good. That was nice and quick. I normally don't know where to look, so
Look at it, maintaining. Don't go. We have so much to catch up on. It has been an insane start of the season. Match after match after match after match. I've hit you up a couple times and you're like, I don't know up from down. Can we do it when there aren't 60 press conferences I have to participate in a week? Which makes sense. I understood. So I thank you for being able to make some time for me.
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, for sure. Let's start here with Pep Guardiola. Where else would we start? The conversation with him. Let me just say I don't agree with it, but people talking about how tired and uninspired he seems, that he could be leaving. I don't know if that is people wishing and hoping, because obviously City will have a significant drop when Pep leaves, or maybe it's something that they see. I figured there's not many better people to ask than you, who gets that in-person interactions with him multiple times a week. So what are you seeing from Pep? Maybe what are you hearing from people? Like what's the latest on Pep? Is he leaving us in the summer?
Yeah, well, there's quite a lot of people in the industry, in the football industry, think he's going to go. And normally, when there's a mass of people that are saying the same thing, normally there's sort of at least a grain of truth to it. I've not been told that he's definitely going. The latest I had was that he'd not made up his mind, which sort of they have been obviously they've been talking to other managers, but I mean they've done that throughout his 10 years. There are just reasons why certain names have come out over the last 2 months. There's sort of different, I guess, there's different vested interests and, for want of a better word, agendas as to why certain stories come out and why names come out. But I know I think it was 2021, they were quite far down the line with a manager to replace Pep because they thought he was going to go, they were that far down the line with the sort of succession planning, and obviously signed a new contract. And so they've had these conversations with managers for years and years. That aspect of what's going on is not up for debate. It's been interesting to sort of watch him particularly over the last 2 or 3 months, where he's kind of caring less about what people think, and he's not holding his tongue quite so much. she's been really like, yeah, sitting in front of him. It's always been interesting, but it's sort of almost become even more interesting in a kind of strange way in that you're waiting, to hear what comes out of his mouth next. But like, it's got to the point where sometimes you don't really know what to ask him. Because it's just like it's been a strange season in that sense. But he's been like box office as he always is.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, you talk about there was quite a lot of talk spoken about the question from Umir on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was like such an interesting or revealing window into sort of how to not deal with, but how to approach Pep in a press conference where the question wasn't a bad question. Like, clearly done his research, knew what he wanted to ask. Pep didn't really give him that much of an answer. And it was a good question, and there's like absolutely nothing wrong with how it was asked or what he wanted to get. But it's like sometimes, like, it takes a lot to get things out of him sometimes, and it's a bit, can be a bit of a game of chess.
That is so interesting because the way that the clip has been going around, it's like, oh, look at Pep complimenting him. Do you want to come on my staff? And you, the reporter, you're like, he dodged the question. He didn't even answer the question. It's very interesting, and this is what I enjoy having the conversations because now that you said it, like I really do go, yeah, no, he did. But also, he asked about a question about Spain from like 2009. Like, I also get where he's come. Like, I'm sure that was a question where Pep was like, maybe if we were a one-on-one, but like this is a intense question. Like, I wouldn't know how he would. Like, the rest of the presser would be him answering that question. I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I think someone like Sam Lee, or to an extent myself, if you ask like a tactical question, like I asked one last Wednesday about about how the press was different, and like, so he'd done a training session in the like diamond shape in midfield the day before they played United in September, and someone said to me, "Oh, he's never done this before. This is really interesting." And then so I was expecting to play diamond against United, and they didn't. So I was like, oh, so he must have like shelved the idea and whatever. And obviously that's then like out of possession. They're playing more of a diamond now when Silva plays. So I found that like kind of fascinating as to why it's taken so long for them to go with that shape out of possession. But you can't. I wanted to ask him that as to why it's taken so long, but you can't. I know from experience that you can't ask him, or you can't give away too much. So I couldn't say like, "Oh, you trained that on this specific day," because his default would be, "Don't know where you've heard that. Definitely didn't." But I know that's what he's like.
Yeah.
And lots of managers are like that. So you can't. So if you want to discuss that sort of thing, you have to find a way of making him play along with it, play ball with it.
Yeah.
So my way of doing it was saying like, so you've got Bernardo Silva at the tip of a diamond for the press, which makes it more intense. It's basically three strikers on their 4 or 5 at the back. So you're sort of pinning them in. Like, could anyone else do that other than Silva? Because Silva's then, after he's finished that press, he's then got to go back to sit alongside Rodri. So that's the way to ask it. Because he was like, no one else could do that. Silva, we can't play that way if Silva's not played. He's irreplaceable.
You got to change the whole game. Yeah.
That's your answer about that.
Yeah.
So then you can sort of write about that because you have Guardiola sort of like backing up your thesis without you revealing your thesis to him.
Nice. Yeah. That's fair because Umir's question was so like open, he would have to legitimately give up how he plays the game, where you asked a very direct question, but it covers all. Smart. You gotta it's a game of chess. Wow.
But this is 10 years.
Yeah.
You sat in front of the guy for 10 years, so it's like they're not tricks. It's just learning how to navigate your way around. and every manager is different.
Exactly.
There are a lot of managers that, like, if you'd ask them a very direct question about a player like that, they go, "Oh, I don't talk about individual players," but we all know, like, his deep love and affection for
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva would allow him to sort of say whatever you want to say on that subject because it's him.
Well, even on the opposite end, so Pep Lenders, whenever he's done the pressers,
He's great. I'd love him
he
to do it like once a month.
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Whatever question they ask, he gives his thoughts. He will talk for a minute or two at a time. He gives it up, and that has been really fun from him because you still see the lights in his eyes. He's all like happy to be there and stuff like that. I've been I've enjoyed the change up. It was very nice. Even with when Colo did it, it's those are, I guess, the things that when people talk about him leaving, I can be like, I see it because he's just like, all right, go Lenders. I got something else to do. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
also the so we'll say I thought Pep was going to leave this season anyway. I feel like I've even said this because he admitted he signed the extension because the team was in this weird place. They are in a much better situation now, but any longer, it kind of feels like they'd get too pep brained